Hello, wonderful people,
Hello.
and welcome to Sit Tight Podcast. Woo! And today we have a special guest with us.
Dude.
So his name is Vincent, aka VChampagnee, in the house.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Would you like to
Yeah.
introduce yourself?
Yes, I do. So thank you for having me on the podcast. And I just want to say to both of you, it's a really good time to be starting podcasts and doing podcasts. So stick with it. Get to the 50 episodes. Don't worry, it's gonna come through. So don't worry about the numbers. Just keep it good content. I watch some of the other guests you've had. So it's a really, really good podcast. And for today with this one, obviously we're going to talk about modern dating, but in a perspective of wealth. So it's just important that I get that across. So to my viewers at home, I hope you're feeling special. Everyone has to feel special. Yeah, so everyone's feeling special. That's why everybody to feel special, really.
Oh, we love that energy. We love that positive vibes only.
Only.
So on that, I've got a question.
Yes.
So I just want to know your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about dating,
Yeah.
do you think that men are very easy to please?
Men are simple, and when I talk about dating, when we talk about dating, so it's very important because we're in a period now, and this is to young men. And later on in the podcast, I've got 20 rules for young men between 18 and 25. So I'm going to go through them. I've got a list of them for young men because it's really difficult now. But men should generally are really simple. I'm not saying every single guy, and when I say men are simple, in terms of from my career, so I'll break down my perspective, and I've seen a lot from my career. So I started off as a corporate lawyer, and then I worked in private wealth after that, and then I went into in private wealth. So I worked as a trustee for many wealthy families. So one of the problems, and I've seen it with dating, is with men, and this is very crucial with wealth. When you marry, that is one of the biggest investments you can ever have in your life, and the life partner that you have. So it's very, very important with men and women that we work together, because obviously the market's it looks a bit complicated. It's not as complicated as it is, but generally speaking, yeah, men are simple, and I'll elaborate on that a bit later.
So what was the question again? Sorry, Shannon.
So like obviously are men very easy to please?
Yes.
They are, and you're saying they're very simple.
Yeah, men are very, very simple.
I don't agree.
I don't agree.
And this is where it differs. But the reason why I say men are simple, and women have a lot of tendencies. There are complications, but we are very simple what we want. But with women, what you want is we have, obviously, what I say with men is we have to, as generally speaking, men are generally, they have a pride, have ego, and they want to be providers. That's the three things men just want to do. And the reason why I say they're simple, because they're the three things you have to adhere to, really. It isn't that complicated. Obviously, some men, like, the difference is we need to know, what are we doing? Are we dating? Are we in our early stages of life? Are we in our later stages, or we're looking for marriage? So we need to know, when you say complicated how?
Well, that's exactly.
They don't know which one.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like when men meet women, most of the time their intention is just, they know what their intention is, right?
Yeah.
But they do not make it clear to the woman. So then that's where the complication comes. Because then you're talking to them and they're taking like 25 hours to reply.
Okay.
And then they're doing this. And then
Okay.
they're giving you like,
Okay.
sometimes they're giving you hints that they do want what you want,
Okay.
but then other times they're not at the same time.
Okay.
They're confusing. I know you guys say women are confusing, but
Okay.
to be fair, men are the most confusing creatures.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
Because sometimes they know what they want, but instead of them making it clear to us, they just play games.
Okay, I'm gonna simplify the process, and it's the type of men. See, this is where it gets complicated, and the type of men in this world, we have different types of men. So this is where it gets a bit complicated. So I say we've got three types of men generally, if I really want to break it down.
Okay.
So we have the first type of guy is, he isn't serious. Okay, at this stage, he doesn't know it, but he might be playing around. He might be in a stage of his life. We have the second type of guy, who is a really nice guy who actually wants a lot of women, but he doesn't get, he might not get what, but he tries to get his fair share. And then we've got the third type of guy who has the options. So it's whether if he is going to be serious, you obviously, there's a process where is a courting process to see So they're the three types. So if the first they might, but then he has options. He might say this, he might say that. But I think what's important, and this is why I want to talk about modern dating, men and women, we have different roles when we're dating and when we're looking for different things. So I want to ask you guys, what are your requirements first? What is it for you? Let's go through the requirements first, because men have to jump through these hoops. So I need the requirements first.
I don't ask for my...
No. What are your requirements? Okay. Any guy will do then. No, I'm asking you the question. No, wait, because to the guys out there, look, this is a lovely lady. What are the requirements, please?
Okay. Right. I just want a man that can make time for me as much as I make time for them.
Okay.
I don't want to feel like I'm...
That's every guy. So I want is the requirement.
Yeah, that's my requirement.
And that's it. So he doesn't matter how he looks, he just come. Wait. Because there's a lot of nice guys out there. Okay.
Okay.
Filter.
Okay, so the superficial stuff, obviously, they have to be nice on the eyes.
What's that mean?
They have to be...
No, but you see how
standard.
What's called looking to your standard?
Okay, they have to be black.
Okay, we're filtering. Thank you. See, this is where I'm filtering. Okay, go.
They have to be black.
Okay, fully black.
No, they don't have to be fully black.
Okay.
They have some kind of black in there.
All right, cool. All right. So she's shouting out to the kings. Okay, let's go.
They might have some kind of black in them, right?
Okay.
Also, kind of ambitious. I hate men who are not ambitious.
Okay.
I do not like men who it seems like they're going in no direction.
Okay.
You know, you get some men.
But in terms of ambition.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I'm trying to specify this because we need to understand in this world we have a certain amount of money that we need to live off. So I'm gonna filter again. This is why I'm gonna filter again. Okay, so ambitious. Okay, mostly I can't say everyone's ambitious, but everyone has a dream to a degree.
Right. Are
Okay.
you working towards the dream?
Okay.
Right.
Oh, but okay. Go on. Continue.
So if you have a goal, let's say maybe they have like a 5-year goal or maybe like short-term goal next year.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me you want to do this and that next year.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing towards it?
Okay.
If they're not doing anything towards it and they're just saying it, and next year comes and
I mean,
then you're not ambitious enough for me.
All right. There's ambition. Okay. All right. So let's say he is a guitar player.
Okay.
He's one of the best guitar players he's amazing, talented.
Okay.
And his ambition is he wants to go, let's say he plays guitar, he wants to go on tour next year.
Okay.
And he works on that and let's say next year and he tries to go, would that be acceptable?
Well, you just said he works on it.
Okay. But so
as long as you're working towards it, do you get what I mean?
all right, so any guy that's ambitious,
yeah.
You're simplifying it from
Making time.
after this podcast. There are gonna be so many people because I'm going through your filters, because there's a lot of people can try now. Okay, so
Don't try.
she's taken.
I've already taken.
Okay. Okay.
So like very ambitious. Make time.
Mm-hmm.
Like one thing about me is making time and also communication.
Okay, so you're taken, right?
Yeah.
So you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So why is it the complications in it? She's already found the person. So why is it?
I only found the person 10 months ago. So before 10 months, this is what I was going through.
But it's a process. It's a process. Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. And what's the other filters? So okay. So you've done your filters. So okay, you're with someone now.
Right.
Tell me stuff about the person you're with,
Mm-hmm.
because he's being successful in having a relationship. That's the next stage for guys to get to. So what has he done that's made you want to have a relationship with him? And let's don't, because these are the key things that women can know, because you're in a relationship with him, so there's something there. So tell me those things.
Absolutely. So, sorry, when I first met him,
Mm-hmm.
you do your usual thing, you go on a date, whatever.
How did you meet?
We met for a friend, so a friend introduced us.
And this is something which I'm going to come to later on in the podcast, but I'm going to address how this modern day dating is. Because you met through a friend, and this is what, and the reason why I say this, because with the apps it gets complicated, But I always say a lot of people you meet through people or you can meet in person. I say in person is very important for men. But okay, you met in person through a friend. So there's a vetting process there.
Yeah, for a friend.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, before that, I was in a relationship for like 7 years.
Okay.
And I was single for about 3 years and I met him. But even when I met him, it wasn't face to face. It was like, oh, exchange your numbers. I'll give your number to him. You can pop up, you can call, whatever. To be honest with you, I was going through stuff myself. So I wasn't really on it.
So you're going through a healing process.
Yeah, I was going for a healing process, so I wasn't really on it. And then he asked, let's go on a date, blah blah blah. Even to go on the date, I was a bit like,
You had to jump through the hoop.
yeah, I was like, I don't really wanna. So we get to the date, and obviously he was a very funny guy. And you know the question that all guys ask: what are you looking for in a guy on a first date? I said, I'm not telling you.
Good. Good.
Because I feel like, do you know what?
Okay.
I feel like if we tell them, then for the first 2 weeks or so, a month, they will live up to what you've told them. And then as soon as they feel like they've got you, they get so comfortable, they drop it all and they go back to.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Would you say you're quite submissive to your partner?
I think I'm submissive. I love being submissive.
Okay, come. Continue.
Okay. Yeah, so in the date, he was very funny. Straight after the date, he dropped me home, and straight after in the car, he was like, okay, when am I seeing you next? That's what I loved, because it was like, okay, you're making time. You want to see me again. You want to arrange it now. So we both went for our diaries. We booked, another time to see each other, and we were talking. Communication was going on. Obviously, he had to let me know that, when I first started talking to you, you weren't, on it, because I was leaving. To be fair, I was leaving him on, like, he would text me and I would not text back for like 2 weeks. So something, and he popped in my head. I'm like, oh, hi, I'm so sorry.
But the thing is why I say persistence is for men. This is what we have to do. Like, and that's why I say, guys, simple, because what I said, if he knows what he wants and he wants the woman, he's pursuing. He's might pursue to a certain degree.
Right.
And that's why I say the disrespect can come in where it could be. So this is why I say with those 3 sips. So he wants you. So now he's actually game plan because he's serious, because he's gone through the hoops,
Right, exactly.
which
And
is good for women to test.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling you in terms of I need to know what their intentions are there and then. So we went on another date, and I could tell that he's funny. I could tell with the way he is, he's very ambitious and things like that. And then within 2 weeks, he asked me to be his girlfriend because he felt like he didn't know why men talking stages last for like. And dating lasts for like 6 months, a year, before a guy either asks.
No. But the reason why this is why I said there are 3 type of guys, because the serious guys, the ones that know what they want, they're just gonna go bam. But the guys that don't and they want to play, it is a process. But you see, he knows so what it is with. I'll give a guy's perspective. From a guy's perspective, the first thing we look at first is the beauty. That's the straight thing. It's straight away. It's not a joke. The next bit is there more to you that meets the eye? So I'll talk to you. Let's see how we get on. The next stage is maybe, are you emotionally available? These are very, very important. So we are testing the barriers, but obviously it's a courting stage. So it's a chase stage. You're gonna, you don't want it to, give me a bit, let me try it. Let me keep going.
It have to be 6 months.
Do you know that's a long time?
Do you know what?
No, it's not. Because in 6, think about it. How long? Wait. How long have you guys known each other?
4,
5 years.
Okay, so we 4 or 5 years. I'd say after 3 years, I'd say your friendship was like it takes it to the next level.
Oh, quicker.
Quicker than that.
We became friends very.
And I think it was.
But three. Tell me someone else that you've known longer than each other.
Oh, well, my best friend.
Okay.
I've known her since primary.
How many?
I have. Well, I don't want to talk. I don't want. Do you know what he just?
But you see, but you have the thing is we have. Okay.
I think I got 4.
Okay, so it's a process, but the difference is if it's a live partner, it's gonna take some time. I always say 6 months. In a job, you have 3 months to 6 months probation period. Okay, after 6 months, people can't keep up the behaviors. I'll be honest, like 3 months is a long enough, but 6 months is a long time to do it. So I say six. Obviously, what it is, women, you know what you want, effectively. And what men do is we know what you want. We know what we want, but we know what you want. And we have to get through the hurdles. But we know exactly what you want. So 6 months, you've already planned the wedding, you planned all these other stuff. The man hasn't really planned that stuff. He knows it's going to happen, But it's not like, and this is where it's different between how we raise boys and how we raise women. Because with girls, they know the house they're gonna live in. They might know the wedding dress. You play a wedding dress. You play these things like as imagination. So that's the way the difference. But if you look at boys, they might just play with cars and they'll just be happy playing with that car until they get to another age. So it's always a stage process. So we already have the plan. It's just that we have our plan and we have to get into your plan and then lead with a double plan together. And that's what the process is.
Fair enough.
So 6 months.
I feel like 6 months.
That's a long time, man.
So are you saying 6 months dating and not dating anybody else? Or are you saying 6 months dating and also dating other people?
No. I don't think, if you're dating, I think if you're dating other people, you're complicating the process. And I always say it's about energy. Right. Multiple dating doesn't benefit. It benefits guys to multiple date, technically. Because with the emotion and energy of women, it doesn't really benefit you. But guys, sometimes a guy might be filtering and figuring things out. He might see you, might see someone else, but there is still confusion there. But 6 months, he might meet another girl, might see her for 2 months, and then she might be totally like, oh, you know what? I've realized she's not. That's the right person. Then he might come back. You know what? I had a realization. So that's why I say 3 months. You're gonna figure when you're in 6 months in. I think there should be a progress in the relationship. There should be a relationship process there. Then you're wasting the time. Or you have to have the conversation to look. But I always say, a woman, you should say your intentions to the guy all the time.
But so then why didn't you guys tell us?
Yeah, like make it clear.
Because we do.
No, but you do. But he wanted you, so he's with you now. He knew his intention. He's getting through the hurdles. Obviously, you can give him tests and things like that. But if he's going through the tests and he knows it. And sometimes also with relationships, sometimes you have to be vulnerable. Sometimes so it's not like nothing's guaranteed in life. And we might try it and it might not work, but that's where heartbreak thing and you learn from it. But you're not always going to meet the right person. There's a filter process, but it will work if it's the right person. But you have to, sometimes we have these lists. Women have these lists. So I'm going to give you the list which women have today, which is very complicated. There's a list.
But
there's the general list, okay? The general list, okay.
One list.
General list. They say 6 foot minimum to 6'4". No, I need people to understand. I have a lot of girls that I speak to. I have little cousins as well, that are in their 20s now, and they go through their list. So they say, no, this is what they say. They say 6 foot, and then they say he needs to earn 6 figures.
Okay, that's a bit mad.
No, wait, I'm just going to explain the general list because this is... And he has to be young. Then they say, I want him to be in shape. He needs to be jacked as well. And they say, I want him to be smart. I want him to be funny. He needs to be charismatic, emotionally intelligent. Oh, the list goes on, okay? So, reason why I say he's very interested in that list, because I've worked in private world, but I've worked. And I say this, and then let's say we go to our community, ethnic minority needs to be black as well. So the list, there's a bigger filter there. So that's a crazy, and then you look at how many people are 6 foot plus.
Right, true.
It's not many people.
I'm interested in Shannon's list.
Whoa.
Shannon? Because you said you have a list.
So what's your list?
Let's go. I've been in the hot seat long enough.
Do you know what? Yeah. She's laughing at me because my list has changed as the years have gone on as I'm getting older.
What is it now?
Okay.
No, what's the original list? I need to know the original list. The original list.
Yeah,
send me the original list.
Okay, the original list was there had to be 6 foot.
Thank you. Wait. Men are complicated, right? We're confusing. So give your guys list. Let me tell what guys say. She's pretty. She looks good. Some guys will say a body, nice smile. She's compatible. She very feminine. And I can get along with her. 4 things done. It's that simple. And then let's give her a height. Some guys might say this. That's it.
Yeah. Go on, Shan.
No, this is my list before. Yeah.
Okay.
6 foot. Yeah.
They needed to be earning more than me.
Okay. That's fair.
And they just had to be, I would say, emotionally available.
See, I've been in that mostly intelligent. Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough.
And you know what? Just to be, what's the word? Just be compassionate, essentially, because you'd be surprised how many men are not compassionate.
What do you mean by as in compassion? How do you mean?
So like, if I'm upset, you don't just stare at me. You know, like no, like in a sense, if I'm upset, like I'd expect you to like just be like, oh, are you all right? A shoulder to cry and offer that essentially.
Do you think that you should be compassionate all the time or generally?
Generally, not all the. I feel like all the time. I don't think anyone's compassionate 24/7.
Okay. Yeah.
Like we're humans, we're not robots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the list before, essentially. Now, ideally, they should be black.
Oh, so what did they have to be black before?
No,
Oh, before
but no, but then
Why? What's changed? It's interesting. What's changed?
because I just feel like if we're like the same ethnicity, we kind of understand the struggles and what we go through, and essentially, how would I explain myself?
I know what you said. Okay, go on.
Yeah,
Continue.
you'd like understand where I'm
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah. Mhm.
Whereas I've seen situations where people have obviously of different races. There's obviously conflict. There's racism. There's prejudice. There's unconscious bias,
Mhm.
and I don't necessarily want to experience that.
Mhm.
So ideally, a black man
Mhm.
has to be taller than me.
How tall are you?
5'5". I'm not short.
Okay.
I'm like 5'5".
So you're a guy 5'7", 5'8", alright?
Yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah. No. Yes.
So 5'7". That's my height.
A bit taller than you.
A bit taller than me, so 5'9".
8.
He's going up, you know. He's going up, you know. He's like.
What else? So you need to be financially stable. That's a must.
What's financially
stable?
Because financially stable could be like
So
they're
do you
working in McDonald's and they're financially stable for them.
Would you date a bus driver?
Yeah, they make money.
Yeah, I want free bus rides.
No, because there was. No, I'm just doing it was because there was the woman I forgot her name. Is it Ebony K. Michelle or something like that? She got a lot of stick for saying she wanted to date a bus driver. I think she's a news anchor in America. So yeah, she got a lot of stick from it. So it's interesting, but
As long as you're financially stable and you're okay with the job that you're doing, of course.
Right.
What else? I say emotionally stable again, but only because like and emotionally available is because if they're not, then it's like you've got a brick wall and you're trying to get past that brick wall and you can't get through to them essentially. And what else? You need to be comfortable with where I'm also at in life as well. So the reason why I say that as well is because obviously I've said this a few times. I've worked very hard to get to where I am now, and some men are very intimidated by that.
no, elaborate, please.
Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm a senior wherever I work.
Okay.
Some men will feel a type of way. I've had, for example, some men say, do you know, I can't afford your lifestyle. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Or it's like, okay, they see where I'm working at and they'll just look at me and just assume that, okay, she does a good job. She must be like this. I'm rich. Or I'm going to look down on people who aren't in the same position as me, essentially. So if you're okay with where I'm at and what I do, then and honestly, that's fine. And also just be a good listener.
Okay.
And listen and understand and digest what I'm saying.
Listen just to listen.
Yeah,
Okay.
So listen. I listen to understand and to hear, not just listen to hear, if that essentially makes sense.
Okay. And then in terms of, I'm probing you now. In terms of, so you say, because this is a very interesting aspect of why modern dating becomes difficult, and you're not an example. You really simplify things actually generally to the general public. But in terms of income, because sometimes people can have like filters in terms of like let's say you work in a corporate role, like an office senior role, and then the guy might work, let's say he's like a plumber, for example. So we have white collar and blue collar workers effectively. Some women might look down at that, even though the plumber or the builder that's fixing their building makes way more, but is like people do start doing collar.
Yeah.
Is that a problem for you or no?
No.
Okay.
At the end of the day,
That's one of the biggest filters that generally what happens with women generally when you work corporate work, you start to say and you start wanting someone, let's say in that industry or above, and that's one of the problems with modern day dating. I have a friend who had experienced the problem where he basically works in construction. He was with her for a while, 5-6 years, but he helped her, does what she does, went into science, become a scientist, helped her, like they lived together. He was up anyway, but he had a period where he wasn't able to get work. He was down. She's already up in the scientist role, and then she was looking down on him like, oh, and then that filtered, and then she's like broke up, whatever. So he had to change, got everything, got house, every single thing, but he has to start back again. But at the same time, he sorted himself out. We have a down patch. We're always gonna get back up, but now she's like, oh no, I made a mistake, blah blah blah. But that's where it gets a bit complicated. So
in terms of what you guys are saying with like, oh, if he's a plumber or a bus driver, am I going to be fine with it? I'm fine with it as long as they're happy in it.
Yeah, so
if they're happy in it, that's fine. But if they are a bus driver or a plumber and they're not happy with it, but then at the same time they're not doing anything to try and get out of it, that's when it becomes a problem. Like every day I have to hear you moan about your job, and you're not doing anything actively to maybe look for something else, or to sit down and say, actually, this is not what I want to do. This is what I want to do, and this and that is what I need to do to get there. I'm not going to be in a relationship hearing you moan about your job every single time, and you're not doing anything about it. What do you want me to do?
No, it's fair. That's fair.
If you can't help yourself, I can't help you.
And you know what, to add to that as well, it's like, essentially, you're doing something that you want to do, fine. And I always say to people, if you have a problem with something going on in your life, you need to make steps to find somewhere to like rectify it, essentially. And it's like, someone that keeps moaning, it's going to put it down on the relationship. They're going to be very, very negative. It'll start to affect your mood. It might even start to affect like your mindset on everything, essentially.
They're going to resent.
Yeah. Resentment will eventually start, and it's just going to like go down from there, essentially.
Okay. So then you don't have much filters. So then how are you finding dating then? Last question to you, because you're in the hemisphere.
I think it's got to a point where I'm just like, it's not that I can't be bothered as such, it's just that it's a lot more effort than I thought it would be.
So you're not actively.
Okay.
I feel like I am sometimes, and sometimes I'm not.
Did you see? So I'm gonna give you a good read. He's a good guy, right? Yeah. Does he have friends?
He does have friends, yeah.
That's the easiest way. Like I always say, yes. Okay. Because I always say, and this is with women, this is why, and it's very, very important, and it's the same with guys. I'm going to get onto guys, but if you were looking for someone, it's better to be around couples, people that are married, because they're going to have a friend, probably similar, that they can, not all the time, they can introduce you to. So that's one way you're going to try and find the filter. I mean, work used to be a way, very difficult now.
No, personally, not in my profession. Yeah. I wouldn't. No way.
I mean, not work, but okay, within the profession.
Do you know what? Within my workplace, no. Within my profession, yes and no.
Do you go out, events, weekends?
Oh, I'm always out. I'm always out.
But you're out at the
right places.
That's the.
Yeah, sometimes I like to dress up and go to fancy places. Other times I might just.
Do you meet anyone? No interest. There's always a guy. Is there a filter? It depends, innit? I'm just asking, because generally, the point I'm trying to make is that, then don't get me wrong, the apps can be used sparingly, but you have to have a filter process where you get on the date as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I think there are some of the apps, the better apps. It's still the same because there's a filter, but. I mean, I think friends, but it will happen when it will happen, but you have to proactively be putting that energy out for it to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So are you in a relationship then?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship.
Okay.
So
how long have you guys been together?
About a year and a bit.
And how did that go? Where did you meet her? What makes it different from other?
No, so for me, is that an event? So, I'd say. What's really important, I'd say, for men, genuinely, is I think guys need to put their best foot forward that they can do, be the best versions of themselves. And for me, I've just been fortunate that I've had older brothers, I've had dad, I've had a really good dad that just taught me very early and I've been in spaces very early. So I've had a good experience with women anyway throughout my life. So when you get, as a man, when you get older, you're very experienced. You know what you're doing. It's not a difficulty. So I'd say for the young men, it's very, very complicated, this dating market. And I think for young men, I'm gonna go through some rules that they need to follow, because what it is we have to become the guy to get you to impress you. Like, we have to be at our best stages for you to take us serious. If you're very nervous, or it's just not gonna,
So do you feel like you met all her list? Because obviously you say all women have a list. So surely she had a list as well.
Yeah, she met the list. I met the list, of course. But no, not like that. I'm just saying, for the average guy, this is where I want to go, because dating's different. So for me, I'm fortunate enough. So in my career, for example, for my career, early career, I was making 6 figures when about 22. So that's a long time. And I've had a nightclub when I was I'm a different type of guy. I'm not the average guy. So I need people. So for me, it's different for me than for someone else. But I've helped guys, generally speaking, go through things. So yeah, obviously financially, that's one thing generally women want, but it's not all. It's personality, character. So for me, I say for young men, try and put your best foot forward. So I get into shape, get into the gym. So I got into the gym at university. That's another thing. Then there is charisma. But you learn these things as you grow older. You learn these things that is experience. So I say to guys, so I've got a list of things that a guy generally should do. And I'm going to bring out the list because it's important, because we're talking about modern day dating. And it's different for guys. And it's different.
Oh, there's a notepad.
There's a notepad.
I'm always prepared.
I'm always prepared. Literally. There's a notepad. I've got a list here. So on the list for men, I'm going to go through the 20 rules, but this is from 18 to 25, okay? And this is very important for young men. I've got a nephew at the moment that now I'm kind of mentoring at the moment. And the thing is, what's difficult now is that we have this, with social media, everybody wants to be Pop Smoke. Yeah. No, I need to be honest. Everybody wants to be Pop Smoke. But not in real life is totally different. And I'm explaining to my nephew now is that from 18 to 25, there's a filter. When you get to 25, there's a filter for guys. So I always say, this is really important, that when we start effectively, and this is where it gets complicated for men and women, from 18, for a guy, you're generally just a teenager. You're spotty, whatever it is, you're developing. With women, 18, 19, a woman can be developed. So a woman from 18, 20 will be getting attention from a guy at 25, getting attention from a guy at 30, have resources. So, and I feel for like, so with an 18-year-old now, if she's on TikTok or whatever she does, or Instagram, and everything's good, the attention, the likes, everything. You look at an 18-year-old boy on TikTok taking the same pictures or dances, it's not the same thing. Yeah. So it's very, very, very complicated. And what happens is that people look at, like, say, social media, influencers, creatives, and then people look at that lifestyle and want to be that. So every 18-year-old, obviously drill is a thing now. Yeah. But I mean, the chances of, don't get me wrong, there are some drill, but the chances of being that drill rapper is a slim chance. But every guy, and I explained to him, but at this stage, you will sometimes the bad guy image, that will. But I say to him, but now it's gonna be all right. But I say the filter comes in. That's not gonna work when you're about 23, 24, because those girls that you met would have grown up, and then it's things. So a lot. So for guys, what I say is important for them, and this is specifically with men, just to have to ensure that they are Pacific, is from 18 to 25. This is for guys. This is what you need to do.
Listen, guys.
Please, yeah, just listen to this. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out your purpose. Now, this is not something you're going to know straight away. What do you want to do? This might take developing. You might go university, you might do work, but you need to figure out your purpose. The second thing is you need to find a skill or a craft. Something. So if you're good at something, it could be editing videos, find that skill. It could be a trade, or if you're trying to figure out a career, you need to find that. You need to know how to network. This is very, very important. So when you talk about ambitious guys, and it's very important that guys hang around with guys that are on that level, that ambitious level, and it makes you level up as guys, because guys are very competitive. And then you want to add value to anyone you're speaking to. Women is the last thing on your list between 18 and 25. I'm not saying you can't go and date, but you need to do those few things first. So for example, you need to go and get a job, get income first. Basically go to the gym, do something active. Then have time on yourself, develop things, read books, get information. Then the last thing in the day is, then if you have time, then you're going to try it and maybe date. But at this stage, you're still developing, because you generally don't know what you want. Generally speaking, not all guys, not the priority. Women aren't the priority. And then that's where, if you do this up until 25, this is where the male advantage comes in at 25. Because what happens is, there'll be a guy, he might be the guy in school, for example, and then you get to 20, 21, finish university. I've seen this as well. I've had friends like 20, 21, and I might see another guy, 24, 25. He's in the gym. There's one guy, I know a couple of my friends, he's in the 25, 3 years, he's changed. He's the guy now. But that guy might have been, don't know if he smoked weed in school. He's not cool. He's fed off now. Yeah. So let's all say that's where the male advantage comes at 25. So they're the really, really important things that guys need to work out. And once you've worked those things out with dating, then when you're 25, you're experienced enough, it's fine. Now, women is different though. It's very, very different. Very, very different. And I'm going to say this why. Okay. It's very different. With women, you need to figure yourself out. However, there is opportunity 18 to 25 that you could just meet the guy. Yeah. He could just come, bam.
True.
That's it. Done. Literally like that. You meet the right guy, he gives you everything, bam, bam, bam. Obviously, career, get everything in place, work on yourself, but you have a shortcut because you have the advantage of guys your age, guys older, guys that are younger. So the filtering pool is so big, but for an 18-year-old boy, he doesn't have anything. So that's where it's different. And women develop a lot earlier, so you're probably more well developed than a guy. Guys are slower. Guys take about till they get to the, let's say, 20s. The facial hair, the bone structure, everything changes where it becomes more attractive. So that's the difference. If you follow those foundations, I do have the 20 rules, but I'll go through those later. Yeah, and I think that's dating. That's how simple dating is. It's that simple.
Is that simple?
Very simple.
So have you always had it simple? Like,
yeah, has it always been like a smooth? Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's smooth. It just depends where I'm at in life. So I'm gonna say, when I was 18, I wasn't a serious guy because I'm 18. Like, you can't expect me to 18, 19. I'd say mid-20s, I'd realize 24, 25, I'd realize, okay.
So then why do they bother women and go into a relationship when they're not ready?
I think when I say where you're looking at a relationship, I think you need relationships, but I think you need to figure out where you are in a relationship. So like a relationship in high school or a relationship in sixth form is different to a relationship in uni.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So is where we are. So if I'm at university, and I always say we meet each other technically by circumstance. So we went to school together. We're just in proximity from an area. That's why we're in a relationship. You go university, we're in proximity for each other. But when you finish and you go to work or whatever it is, you're starting to design your life. That's why I say the independence comes in, because you like I say, you have to move out of your house, get your own place first. Then you're starting to become independent as an individual. So when if you're in a relationship at 18, 19, you live at home with your parents are still a very influential impactor in your relationship. So you're dating them, but you're not individual. But when you move out, his place, your place, you're individual, and this is where the next step is you're coming together, so you got to move in. That's why I say it takes time.
Okay, so what's the moving in?
Yeah, what do you mean by moving in? Like, do you mean like moving into each other's?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, so what?
But that's another stage. Yeah, and I always say, when you haven't lived with the person, when you live with someone, it's totally different. Yeah. That's what makes the relationship again. Then the next stage is when you get married and you have kids. There's always a developing stage.
Yeah.
It's never the same, but is with progress you're invested in, so you're going to develop that through. And I think, go on.
I don't believe in moving in together.
Why?
In a relationship.
Why not?
I'm more like when you're married. Are you agreeing? Or you?
No, I agree with you.
I'm more like when you're married.
But how would you get married if you haven't lived together?
What do you mean?
You go on holiday.
No, you don't. You don't.
I know it's not the same when before you live together. But it's like you stay with each other. You go on holidays for a long period of time and stuff like that. But I feel
it's not. I'm telling you, yeah. When you live with someone, this is where you know what. This is where it is, right? The beginning, the honeymoon period in a relationship is when you go to the house, you go there, you go. When you live together, you're gonna wake up. You're gonna see me in the morning. That's where it gets complicated. You're gonna see me in the morning. I'm gonna get up. You know, wherever it is, you're gonna see the real self, and that's where the beauty in the relationship is. When you wake up in the morning, you know, you're making bread. Like, you know, you come back from work.
You stay over at the weekend.
No, it's not the same. It's not that you need to see his face 7 days a week.
Oh, I'm not.
See that face. You see when he wakes up in the morning, like
when they're sleeping his eyes.
Yes, you need. That's what you need. That's the real world.
But then, when you get
not coming over, like, you know, when you go. You know what I say to people? You know, when you go to a city, yeah. Let's say you go to Birmingham and you go and stay in a hotel and you think, oh, Birmingham's so beautiful. Go and live there for a week. It'll be different living somewhere. Or when you go on, I always say to people, they go on holiday, they love this country. When you live in that country, when you're on holiday, you're selfish. But when you live in that country, you're like, fuck, this country is crazy. The government's crazy. But you're on your own experience. As I say, when you live together.
But then when you get married, there's no excitement. The excitement is you're married.
You feel like you're already married.
Right, like you're doing all the stuff. You're living together already.
But why
after marriage?
Why is
the ceremony's finished? You go back to the same place.
No, but why is the marriage exciting? I mean, why is it got what is it about marriage? What is it about marriage that's exciting? That's what I asked.
Even though in relationship you're doing life together, you're not doing life together as much as you are when you're actually married to this person.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, like you said, you have kids. You have to think about your finances together. In a relationship, you can do in terms of finance together, but not as much. Everyone is still very much like
individual
with their finances and stuff.
Don't get me wrong. You can get married and live together because generations before arranged marriages worked. So the relationship is not about. Is actually love is meant to be learned. It's not meant to be there, because if sometimes when it's there and it goes, that's where the fundamentals happen. But when it's learned, a lot of people, like my parents had an arranged marriage. You have to learn to love the person. That weddings were meant to be. People cry at the weddings. Actually, that was the thing, because you're leaving your family to go to someone else's. So women were upset. They remember weddings. Like, I was upset on my wedding day because I didn't even know the person, and it took a while. But then they learn, and then you learn to love the person. Then you go through that good period. But the difference in the Western world, technically, is love marriages. Is there's gonna be a period where it's not gonna be when you were 20s or 30s. It changes, and that's where the duration goes, where the partnership happens, and that's the difficulty, I'd say.
Okay,
fair enough.
What were you saying, Shannon? About you said
that, like, if you lived with each other, how would you save money to buy a house? Don't laugh at me. It's a genuine question.
All right, wait. All right. Let me break. No. So if you live, but you would save money if you live together and you split the bills. Then you're saving rent in one place, rent in another place. You've saved.
But we're in a cost of living crisis, inflation, more everything's sky high. And let's say you spend majority of money like renting. How would you actually have the capacity to save money to actually want to buy a house in the future?
Yeah, okay. So let's say you rent a place, he rents a place, right? If you save that, cut that place, you move in, you've saved your rent place, his rent place, you half that. This is how it generally will work. You would go in, not all relationships, but usually what happens is half of the salary, someone's salary, pays rent, food, whatever. The other half of salary people live on or save. That is it. But you have to now supplement that. So you can move in together. I'm not saying move in, but you have to you have to live with each. What you want to spend your rest of your life with this person, but you don't want to live. What if you marry him, yeah, and then you can't stand him? It's a troll.
But then no, you will learn because you'll learn.
But make it easier for yourself. No, you don't. You haven't lived with him 7 days a week. When you live with him for 7 days a week, you might be like, oh, this guy's a slob. What's he doing? When you're not around, playing a computer game on the phone to his guy. Trust me, with guys, yeah. Trust me, we have ourselves, yeah. When the woman's out of the house, but we have ourselves when we're by ourselves. Yeah. We do that, but you'll learn that, and there's irritants where but you just learn to deal with him. And same with him, he will learn to deal with you. Like I don't know, what is it? Getting ready, like makeup, all those other things. Yeah.
It's everywhere. Foundation's on your white top.
Yeah. But these are things you learn to deal with. Even like when I say men we're very simple. Getting ready is quick. Like. Done.
Must be nice, right?
They don't have to think about what they're gonna wear.
Yeah.
No, we'll figure it, but we're done. Like I'm gonna wear this,
and that's it.
That's it. But girlfriends get ready. I'm having to. What I'm gonna plan. I'm gonna be like, okay. I'm gonna incorporate another time just in case I don't meet that times, and then boom. Yeah. Then that's what it is. You wait. You sit down wherever it is. But I think is not difficult. It's simple, but we just need to. And I think. Both of you've simplified things. You don't have the problem. I just think you just got to filter the right person. And another aspect of it as well is family is very important because family shapes how people are, and you have to find out those things. What's the relationship like with his parents? What was his parents' relationship like? Because you learn these things subconsciously as kids. So how you see your parents' love relationship, it can affect other people. This is where therapy and other things come into the aspects of it. But it's very, very important that we understand those things. And I think once you've simplified, we're different people, but together you get together. But you're still the individual people as well. And I think you've got to have that individuality.
Okay. So I saw this thing on Instagram. I wanted to ask.
Mm-hmm.
It says that sex happens because women want it. Relationships happen because a man wants it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? Is that
say that again? So
sex happens because a woman wants it, but relationships happens because a man. That's what they say. I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on it.
I think generally speaking, there are guys that can they call it the gate trap, where you're enjoying, but a woman will put the relationship on the cards, and then one guy can go zoom, end up in a relationship like so. But I think there is a big value in sex, and I don't think women should just giving it out. I think there's a value in it, but I think nowadays the value's been taken away because of loads of people doing no strings attached, loads of all this other stuff. So it's very difficult for men now to be like, well, why would I do that when I can just go there, and then the value in it is changed. So I think that's not it. I say that's kind of women's fault for it because of the NSA stuff and then the free girl things and that. But it's just an exchange value, which it happens in this modern day market.
So you agree that it happens because
wants
it, but then relationship happens because men want it. Is that why friends with benefits never work?
No, it doesn't work because it does. You're just getting, for a guy, you're getting all of the benefits, everything. So why would you relationship it? And that's why I say the value for sex with women is there's a higher value. The reason why is because for a guy to get sex is very difficult. He has to do something. If you talk about the values, yeah, it is. It's still difficult for the average guy can't just walk out and have sex all the time. Like if a woman went up to,
okay. No, come on.
Let me give you an example, okay? Let me give you an example. There was a social experiment done. Oh, okay. If a random woman went up to a random guy and said, "Right now, sex 5 minutes in the corner," do you think a guy would say? Even if a guy's mad, what would he do? No, this is what a guy would be. They've done an experiment in America. A guy would be like, "Are you serious?" But yeah, around. Okay, straight up, it's nothing. But if a random guy went up to a random woman and said that, it wouldn't happen. You'd be like, what? Even if she wanted to, she'd be like, no, there's periods in it. There's average guy, sex still If a woman went, it's not a woman can ask a guy. There's guys that sleep with people that are just one night stands. So if a woman said, "Oh," to a guy in the club, "Come back to," done. But if a guy said, "Come back to mine," it's not always. You're gonna have to do something.
Okay, because I was thinking, because I've been in friends with benefits before, and I thought I could do it, but that was a lie because I thought I could do that with no strings attached for as long as I wanted.
But that's why I say the emotions is different. That's how we view things different with men.
He made it difficult because he started doing things that confused me.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I meant, like men are confusing.
I think, but then again, he could just this with guys. This is what some guys are. I'm gonna call that the sleaze bags because some guys might have a good setup, and then they'll be like, "Oh, but I don't want to lose that setup." And then with a woman gets emotional, and they'll be like, "Let me string that because I've got a good setup here." And that's what happened. He just had a good setup, and he's just like. You like I say, if you've got something good food at home and you want to keep that food at home, you don't want someone. It's just going to be like that, and that's where it gets complicated. Because if you say to a guy, "Okay, I'm going to see someone else," it might get a bit jealous. It might get complicated.
Some of them don't, though.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
But it depends. It depends. Some of them might be, but there's still an ego there. Because if you're like, "Oh, maybe you don't holler at him again," and he's like,
"What's up with that? What is up with men? You know, you finally kind of move on, and then I don't know what
ego.
you guys have.
This ego.
Some kind of radar.
No, but that's
kind of meeting that all of you have.
Oh, not the meeting.
The girl starts moving on. A bell goes off somewhere that notifies him that she's happy now, and then that's when he comes back. What is going on with that? What is up with that?
No, but but this is why I said is the ego. Because if he said he didn't care, but if you were like, let's say now we've got social media, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, who's that guy?" He might not have been, but now he's like, "Oh, he's moving." Then he might, "Oh, another guy wants her. I must have." And then that's where the competition goes in.
That's just
like.
But that's why I said it's all ego.
Do you not think it's some sort of not really I'm not gonna say control, but essentially, obviously, when you're with that person, you have some not really that sense of control, but you have that. I don't know.
But men want women that are desirable to everyone. Like that's why I have her. So other guys want, but she's desirable. But this is why I want her, and she's me, and like that's mine, and that's what it is. If she's desirable, other someone else wants, the guys are like, "Oh," but if she's not, that's what it is.
That's annoying. Like, just if someone's not in your life and they don't want you to be in your life, just stay away. Just go away.
Leave them alone.
But then is it another thing where they feel like, okay, do you know what? Maybe I might have some effect on this person. Let me just dip in or do this just to see.
Just to test.
Yeah, just to test to see if I still have some sort of not really power control, or just see if I have that sort of effect on that person.
Yeah, still have that.
Yeah. But why? There's no need for it. Let me move on.
Leave us alone.
Maybe sometimes you don't know what you have until you've lost it. That could be it.
Well, that's their business.
Right.
But sometimes you don't know what you have. That's something a guy might be like, and that's why I say he might experience something else. But that was a really good one. But that's where I say you have to take the L. That's where you take the L, effectively.
That's fair enough.
Okay, you want to go through the rest?
Let me go through the list. Yeah.
Like about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Let me go through the list. So this will help these guys not ghosting. I'm going through them quickly. These are 20 rules for young men, okay? Know the difference between lust and love. That's the first thing. So I'm not going to go through that too much. It's okay to go to the movies by yourself.
Yes. It is.
Please. Like, sometimes, that's why sometimes guys date girls to take them out and date. You don't have to. Just be comfortable within yourself. Yeah. Hygiene is very, very important, please.
Times 10.
Please. Like, I know you might not think it, but shaving this, but that's important. Yeah. Never date your ex's friends, please. Don't date. No, and the reason why is very important because you can end up messing up the circle. I've had circles where I know a guy went out and he's with someone. I'm like, why are you with that person? There's many women in the world, so just don't date your ex's friends. Exercise independent thought, very important. And when I mean by that, I mean there's a trend to follow all these other things, but you need to figure out what works for you. What works for him doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Have a sense of humor, but do not joke about your dreams and your goals. Please. No. Be serious. Because I've had sometimes when I've been in work, and something's not working and taking L's, and I've had guys, I thought you're going to be this by now, and they make a joke. And don't joke about that. I'm very serious about it. I don't joke about how you do things. So don't joke about them to other people. And study the types of people who upset you and find out the reasons why. And this is very, very important because some guys can have triggers. You might have people that have upset you in your life, but you need to review them because you would learn why you have that trigger. It might have been you at that time. So a lot of guys have that. What's this one? So yeah, stand up to bullies and respect yourself. In all the time, you're always going to get someone that's going to be negative, but you have to, not all the time, but you're going to have to stand up for yourself once. Learn how to tell good stories. This is experience. It's very important. No, they need to, because again, attracting women, it's your stories. What have you had? What have you done? That's what impresses you, being experienced. Read books more and stop watching porn. This is a very, very serious one because a lot of guys are doing this, and trust me, it wastes a lot. That is one thing that the younger generation have. You're marrying a girl's family. You're not marrying the girl, so you need to understand what a relationship with a family, because when you have kids and stuff, you need to understand if that's going to be, or so you have to understand that. Don't complain, make things happen. You say guys complain too much, they shouldn't. The right thing should impress you as well. So what I mean by this, stop looking at someone's car, someone that does these other things, because these are nice, but the right thing should impress you. It should be like, if you see a guy who has a business for 20 years and someone's working for him for 20 years, go ask him, how can that person maintain those people for 20 years? The longevity, that's really important. When you meet someone successful, listen and ask questions. Don't talk too much about yourself. Very, very important, because a lot of people have egos. Just talk to the person. Ask the right questions. It will help you. Have a memorable style or fashion style. Please figure out yourself. You can get a style. There's so many things. Just have your style that works for you. Don't, every guy has it. Might have a shirt, something. Just have a style. Be proud and ambitious, which you said. And also be ready to in your life to lose a loved one, and be prepared for it, because my dad taught me this very early in life. You're going to lose someone, and you need to be prepared for it, because a lot of times it can mess up someone's life and ambitions. And I looked at my dad when he lost his mom, and he said, I'll be happy. And he said, and I reviewed when he lost his mom, and he was happy, and he smiled like, she had 30 years of what she gave to me. Remembered all the happy memories, so it didn't destroy him. So that's one thing that they have to. I won't say this one, but be aware.
Why?
Okay, I won't say always have cash, condoms, and the power bank on you.
That's important.
That is important.
But it's important. Always have it, because you don't, at the stage of your life, you might want to have children, so have to make the right move. So always have those things, and be aware of your sensitivities. And when I say this, is very important, is sometimes when you're 18, 21, you could be sensitive. Like someone could tell you something and you might take it the wrong way. Like, who you think he is? But it might be for your benefit. And you could go and end up messing up an opportunity because you're sensitive to someone telling you what to do. So be sensitive. And this goes to the workplace. If you're working in a corporate workplace, someone does something wrong, racism, whatever, you need to be composed and think, I'm here for this job, so I need to figure out a way. So don't be too, I've known guys, I've been in a workplace, be sensitive, job goes. But so they're important, and if you follow those rules as a young man, you'll be okay. You'll be able to develop, and then you will be able to get through your hoops, everyone else's hoops. And I think that's what, and that's what's helpful for me for modern day dating, which I think is important.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's been great having you here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I loved it. I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. I wanted to really come in on the modern day dating, because I've had a lot of people I've mentored, and this is a very big thing. I know one guy is about 21, very good looking guy, in shape, everything, and he keeps getting ghosted. But I don't know why, but we need to just go through those rules. But you don't know. Sometimes, you have to wait your time, but I don't know what it is. So we're trying to have a conversation, just because sometimes men do feel it when they get ghosted. You met a girl, spoke to her, texting her, no message back. Then he thinks, have I done something wrong? But he's all right. But, so this is why ghosting works both ways as well.
Great. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we hope that all you guys we don't hate men,
especially
we give you guys pointers.
Exactly.
And he really gave like good pointers as well. So we want to say thank you, Vincent, for coming to us, and
Fantastic.
we will see you guys next week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Suck it up. Either come or don't come.
So you're willing to